Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something absolutely wild today. The sheer, overwhelming volume of everyday communication topics that humans actually need step-by-step guides for. By analyzing an extensive, completely unfiltered index of how-to articles dedicated entirely to communication skills, we're getting a really incredible look into the anxieties, the quirks, and the deeply human struggles we face just trying to talk to one another. You might think basic conversation comes naturally, right? But the source material we're exploring today proves that millions of us are literally searching the internet for manuals on how to interact. It's fascinating. Okay, let's dive into this. How many words do you say a day? This is an actual article title pulled straight from our source data, and it sparks an immediate curiosity, doesn't it? Think about it. We output thousands of words daily. We're constantly firing off texts, nodding in meetings, trying to comfort our friends. But despite this massive, non-stop volume of communication, we frequently get it completely wrong. We're constantly searching for ways to fix our messaging, refine our tone, and decode what other people are actually trying to say to us.
So, here is how we're going to navigate this massive catalog of human interaction today. First up, the communication skills maze. Second, decoding digital text slang. Third, polishing professional workplace etiquette. Fourth, navigating difficult emotional conversations. And finally, the quirks of connection. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The Communication Skills Maze, Making Sense of the Chaos.
What jumps out immediately from the source material is the hilarious, yet honestly deeply relatable fact that people literally need the internet to teach them the absolute basics. You have these highly serious, high-stakes skills like how to negotiate, which you obviously need for business or buying a house or managing your career, sitting right alongside searches for how to high-five. Yes, you heard that right, a step-by-step guide on slacking hands together. It's crazy, but it shows that the maze of human communication doesn't discriminate. Whether it's closing $1 million deal or just successfully greeting a buddy without making it weird, we are constantly seeking guidance.
Section 2. Decoding digital text slang. The modern Rosetta Stone.
As communication has shifted almost entirely to screens, it often feels like we're trying to read a totally new alien language. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer variety of obscure acronyms people are desperately trying to decode. From TikTok to Snapchat, users are pulling up guides just to understand what WDYLL, LOML, PMOYS, and GFND actually mean. There's even an entire article dedicated to figuring out the hidden meaning behind the single letter X when texting. It's wild. We're typing faster than ever before, but ironically, we're spending just as much time translating all this shorthand back into plain English just so we can understand each other. But it's not just the vocabulary we're struggling with, it's the emotion behind it. The source material highlights the massive need for a complete list of tone indicators. These are basically tools, or little tags, used in digital text to clarify the meaning or the emotion of a message, because we can't hear a person's voice or see their face over a text, right? So sarcasm or even genuine warmth can get completely lost in translation. These tone indicators act as a vital digital tool to avoid miscommunication and, quite frankly, save us from accidentally starting a massive argument over a completely innocent message.
Have you ever just stared at your glowing phone screen, totally frozen, trying to navigate the very specific anxiety of a digital conversation? Well, you absolutely aren't alone. The mere existence of guides like How to Not Be Dry Over Text and How to Respond to a Late-Night Text proves that modern dating and socializing come with their own intense pressure cooker of etiquette. We want to be interesting, we want to set the right boundaries, and we turn to these internet guides to hand us the exact script when our own words completely fail us.
Moving on to Section 3. Polishing professional workplace etiquette. Surviving the 9 to 5.
Let's move to and see how this builds. When we clock into work, casual conversation basically gets thrown out the window and replaced by a highly formalized system of professional etiquette. Everyday phrases transform completely. Instead of a casual, "tell me if you need help," we're suddenly instructed to say, "please let me know if you need anything." We swap a quick "have a good one" for a very proper "have a good week," and a simple thanks becomes the much more formal "I truly appreciate it." It's kind of fascinating how the workplace demands an entirely different vocabulary just to project competence and respect.
And this professional polish? It happens in clear, calculated stages. The source material outlines this whole journey of workplace assertiveness. Step 1 is simply cleaning up your speech, literally learning how to stop saying and other filler words. Once you've mastered that, you move up to Step 2, learning how to confidently speak up for yourself in meetings. And finally, Step 3 represents the big leagues of professional communication, like successfully asking for a referral from a client. It's a structured climb from just finding basic confidence all the way to advanced career negotiation.
Section 4. Navigating difficult emotional conversations, the deeply human side.
Let's just slow down the pacing for a moment here. Because beyond the corporate jargon and the trendy digital slang, the source material reveals these incredibly vulnerable moments that we all inevitably face. Those moments where we truly deeply struggle to find the right words. 80. That is the number of alternative ways the source provides just to say, sorry for your loss. Think about that for a second. Grief is so universally difficult to address, and the fear of saying the wrong thing to someone in pain is so paralyzing that people require dozens of alternative phrases just to safely navigate a moment of mourning.
The guides people search for in these moments are incredibly heavy. Things like how to empathize, how to practice nonviolent communication, exactly what to say when someone's mom dies, and how to break bad news. But you know what? This collection of heavy topics proves something really beautiful. Beneath all the awkwardness and the etiquette rules, our core, driving human need is simply to comfort others. We just want to minimize their pain and ensure they feel understood when life gets unimaginably hard.
All right, Section 5. The quirks of connection, the weird ways we relate.
Stepping away from the heavy emotional stuff, let's inject a little energy back into this. Because the source material is packed with wonderfully bizarre, highly specific manuals that remind us just how wonderfully weird human interaction can actually be. Humans have always been inventive when it comes to talking. From the secret hand fan language of the Victorian-era, used to pass silent, sneaky messages across a crowded ballroom, to the mechanical ingenuity of how to make a walkie-talkie in the 1940s, all the way up to modern-day Snapchat shorthand. The tech changes, obviously, but our desire to invent clever, sometimes secretive ways to connect, that remains a constant thread throughout history.
We also see this incredible diversity in how our brains are wired. The source provides guides for completely opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, we have manuals on how to get along with literal thinkers sitting right next to deep dives into indirect communication. And this brilliantly illustrates the fact that human minds process information so wildly differently that we require entirely separate rulebooks just to interact with people whose communication style differs from our own.
And then there are the ultra-niche tutorials that make up the rich tapestry of everyday expression. People are actively out there reading the ultimate guide to flipping the finger with style. They are looking up over 70 ways to say sorry in a funny way, learning how to read lips, and, incredibly, reading a step-by-step guide on how to do the peace sign. It is delightfully absurd, for sure, but it highlights that absolutely no gesture is too small, and no joke is too trivial to escape our endless desire to do it perfectly.
As we look at all these hundreds of guides, acronyms, and etiquette rules, we actually find a really grounding philosophy buried in the source index. Say what you mean and mean what you say. It's an actual article title from the source and perhaps the ultimate piece of communication advice. So the crucial point is, after all the translating, filtering, and careful phrasing we do every single day, clarity and honesty remain the ultimate goal.
Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. We've explored the maze, the strict workplace rules, the heavy emotions, and the quirky signals. But looking at this massive, chaotic catalog of communication guides, we really have to ask ourselves, despite all our fancy new ways to talk, text, and signal, are we actually understanding each other any better? It's something to consider the very next time you pick up your phone or walk into a crowded room. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and until next time, keep the conversation going.